13-12 in their final year of sanctions left over from the Larry Brown era. Taco Fall wins the tip. That's nothing new. He's won all 26 tips this year at 7'6". And UCF has the first possession into Taco Fall, and he hammers one home.
Well, Terrell Allen, nice job turning the corner on the pick and roll and engaging Shagwa, and then Taco Fall keeping the ball high and finish as almost only he can do.
This is really an outside team versus an inside team. SMU likes the perimeter, and that's a problem for UCF on this end of the floor, although McMurray having trouble handling it here. Everybody having trouble keeping their feet right now. Driving is McMurray with the runner right at the end of the clock.
You're going to see a lot of possessions like that for SMU where they really milk the shot clock.
Aubrey Dawkins from the corner. And UCF off to a quick start. Jimmy Witt. Point guard for SMU. This is Ferron Hunt. Fall has the rebound. Shooting a three over Taco Fall, not easy. Dawkins driving. Now these two teams played a tight game earlier in Dallas on the 10th of February. A running hook there from Colin Smith.
Exactly the start that Johnny Dawkins wanted. Scoring in a couple ways. Transition three, a pick and roll to a lob to Taco Fall, and then getting Smith going on the block.
McMurray averaging 18 a game at 25 in the win over UConn, but didn't play much at all against UCF. There's not much daylight in the paint when you get in there. Mike lost the ball. Allen, and he's fouled by Witt.
Terrell Allen turning the corner on the pick and roll, and then Taco Fall. Just catch it, keep it high, and finish. And then Aubrey Dawkins has done a nice job of improving his skill set since the transfer year, as well as being injured a season ago. His ability to stretch the floor and knock it down from deep has definitely improved.
Allen misses a free throw. Nat Dixon is coming in for SMU. And Ferron Hunt, the freshman, will sit down. Allen, the transfer from Drexel, his second year here at UCF. He has been a really nice addition to this program and allows B.J. Taylor to play off the ball rather than play the point. And it's an 8-0 start. Witt overfall, missed it. And the rebound ripped down by Dawkins. He can handle, he can shoot. Boy, look at Fall calling for the ball. The catch blocked, but fouled. And they will send Taco Fall to the line. One of the most unique players in all of college basketball, not just for his height. He is 7'6".
He is. You want to try to front him and not allow an easy paint touch. When he gets that deep and you get a post entry, it's almost an automatic basket or foul. But honestly, a foul for SMU isn't the worst thing in the world because he's not a great free throw shooter. That being said, SMU is very limited depth-wise.
Yeah, Tim Jankovic doesn't have a deep bench. Fall had a shoulder injury, which further hampered his free throw shooting. That was last year, and he gets that one to drop. 34% from the line this year. That's a drop from last year, and that shoulder issue, one of the reasons why. McMurray now off the screen, trying to penetrate. You can't get in the paint and get anything if Fall is in the game. Witt. Dixon driving. Nice finish. A nice pass. No finish with Fall there. And all of these shots seem forced right now by SMU or contested.
Well, they are a little out of sorts. They want to space the floor and try to bounce it at Taco Fall, but he is big enough and long enough where he can get out from the middle of the paint and contest a jumper at 15, 17 feet pretty easily.
Smith is fouled on his way to the bucket. It looks like Isaiah Mike, a sophomore, with the foul, his first.
Out of bounds. Jeff, out of bounds.
Well, Mike just late on the recovery. Took a bad angle instead of cutting Smith off on the way to the rim. Hit him on the top side shoulder. Foul is easily called by the baseline official.
Third team foul. We're just underway in the American. Allen off the hedge. Fall calling for the ball. Maneuvering and got it in with a hook.
Well, he's big. He is a target, that's for sure. And the thing is if you can get him going and SMU really has to begin to double down, it's going to open up the shooters for UCF. B.J. Taylor, Terrell Allen, Aubrey Dawkins.
What did Tim Jankovic say? That the first thing out of his mouth when he met with us today was, Taco Fall is a problem for us.
It's a problem for most teams the Knights face.
Dixon against Allen, another late shot clock situation. Got it up again. It looked like Fall altered that shot, or just his presence.
Well, how hard would it be to simulate a defensive presence like Taco Fall? I mean, you're driving, he's not in great position, but still you feel in the footsteps and you hear him. You can't simulate that in practice.
Isaiah Mike with his second personal, and that's an issue for SMU. Taco Fall again, the miss, the finish! Whoa!
They are getting a lot of action out of that double high pick and roll, going off of Fall and then just having him dive and make himself available in the middle of the paint.
SMU trying to get on the board, and a foul there. It's Taco Fall's world, Dan Dickow, and we're just happy to be here and watch it.
Throw it up high, keep it high. If at first you don't succeed, just grab it and finish it with a dunk. The Knights limit good looks for three. They've done that so far, and limit Jamal McMurray. They have done that as well.
SMU is 0 of 5 from the field. That foul was on Aubrey Dawkins. A 13-0 start for UCF. And let's see what adjustments SMU makes off the timeout. Jimmy Witt starting, stopping. Taco Fall still in the middle. Finally a clean look and a miss by Nat Dixon. 0 of 6.
The best look they've gotten up to this point.
Ryan Smith is a good low post player. He's overshadowed by Fall, and he scores, and he gets a free throw. And this is a 15-0 start for UCF.
Well, the spacing allows Smith all the time in the world. No double down come, no dig down comes. And if that's the case as a big man, just take your time, go to work, get to the sweet spot.
If SMU were deeper, they could play much more of an up-tempo game, and they would like to, but they don't have the personnel to, run for 40 minutes, and fouls can be a real issue as well. Witt, scoop, got by Fall, and finally, the Mustangs are on the board.
I'll give Young a lot of credit for SMU. Shielded Taco Fall from being able to get there for the ball.
And Fall is fouled. He was not shooting. It is the 16th foul on SMU. It's McMurray's first foul. And there's Witt going strong to the bucket.
Witt's a nice player. He's a junior from Columbia, Missouri. Averages nearly 13 a game.
Chad Brown is in for UCF. Now we'll see what SMU does offensively with Fall not in the middle. There's a kick and a dish, but no shot yet. Witt, good mid-range game, misses. And Terrell Allen has the rebound. Dawkins thought about it. Aubrey Dawkins, 6'6", 205. 2 years without playing, as Dan pointed out. A redshirt year and the transfer from Michigan, and then an injury last year that kept him out.
And it's hard when you sit out not just 1 year, which I did as a transfer from UW to Gonzaga, but 2 years. You're talking about you're getting acclimated to a new system when you're in a redshirt year, but then you have a surgery, and then you got to get acclimated back to playing. The coaching staff here said he had a phenomenal job of staying focused and really improving on his game, and in particular his shooting mechanics coming back from that shoulder surgery.
Free throw is up and good. And there is Johnny Dawkins, 8 years at Stanford, went to a Sweet 16, won a couple of NITs, and this is his third year here at UCF. Brown misses the second. 17-2 starts for a team that right now many have as one of the last 4 into the NCAA tournament, but a long way to go and a really tough schedule to go for UCF. McMurray trying to heat up. Good rebound by Hunt. Keeps it alive. McMurray loads up again and buries a 3. And if he gets hot, Dan Dickau, SMU can roll pretty quickly.
He can. We'll touch on him in the open. The fact that he is a big-time scorer in the American Conference. 9 threes against Memphis earlier in the year. You don't want to get him on track.
With fall out, SMU switches to a zone, and they pick up a turnover. McMurray driving with the left hand, gets it up. Deion Griffin. Taylor, good ball fake. Missed the 18-footer, and it's an SMU basketball.
You don't take care of the offensive glass, give second chance opportunities, and many times it results in open threes because you're scrambled trying to get back and matched up. McMurray takes advantage of it there.
McMurray and Witt together averaging over 30 a game. Dixon finds the big man, Ethan Shagwa, out to Dixon. And the former Boston College wide receiver. That's where he started his college athletic career. Hits a deep 3. Played in 7 games with BC as a freshman and decided he wanted to play college hoop. Wow. Hunt got up, but that's a goaltend.
Well, I like how Terrell Allen is attacking on pick and rolls. Early in the game, he was trying to get Taco Fall involved. Now that Fall's out and the defense isn't as worried about him, he's turning the corner looking to score. That time, Hunt late gets called for the goaltend.
And Taco Fall back in. Aubrey Dawkins back in as well.
Well, it's interesting. UCF, one of the top 5 defenses in the country, according to Ken Palm's analytics. He goes out, SMU gets 8 quick points.
And it's defensive efficiency from Ken Palm. Brown with the rebound. UCF is kind of a methodical offensive team with some really nice pieces. And this is one of them. Dawkins rising. Short on the 3.
Wasn't quite on balance on that jumper. Earlier 3 he made, he was in perfect balance formed position.
McMurray loses his balance. Allen to the bucket, finishes.
Well, Dixon's not going to stop you. Just take it all the way yourself for the layup. Allen, an easy 2.
C.J. White right now running things for SMU. McMurray, he's going to have to score. He knows it, and he hits another bucket. So SMU has found their offense, but UCF has an 11-point lead. Under 11 minutes left first half. Falls back in. Dawkins 3. Got it.
Mentioned a second ago, not on balance. That time again he was, but credit Allen. Turns the corner on the pick and roll, engages the help side, and finds the open Dawkins for 3.
Shagwa. And a rebound to Taco Fall. Fall's got 6 points and 4 rebounds. Corner 3 there by Frank Burtz. McMurray. And that's a situation that Tim Jankovic told us off of a missed UCF shot. They still would like to up-tempo it and maybe get down that floor before that really good defense sets itself. Fall, rebound, put back, no. Fall, rebound, put back, no. Fall, rebound, dunk, yes!
He is, I don't want to say he's active on the glass, but he's big on the glass. But you're right, to the point you made a second ago, Rich. You know, SMU wants to be selective. If they can push down the floor before Taco Fall and UCF gets set defensively, they've got an advantage. But UCF has done a nice job offensively, spreading the ball around the floor.
Coached in his life, and that includes his long run as an assistant at Duke. He is a terrific student, a terrific person. When they go through airports, UCF, they can't get through without people mobbing him and asking for selfies and pictures and gawking at him. And Dawkins says he has never seen Taco. There's a block by Fall. He has never seen Taco say no or not smile or be cordial.
That's impressive.
That's his second block in this ball game.
Keep running the same thing, double high pick and roll, and try to get him in the middle of the paint. That time, the high-low from Smith to Fall, but SMU is going to have to change it up and try to figure something else out, because right now Fall is having a field day on the interior.
That is a double-double, so he's at 10 points and 10 rebounds and 2 blocks. And UCF is dominating SMU early on here in Orlando. Even a corner three is not a good choice with Fall in front of you. Witt misses the rebound to Hunt. Witt misses that one, and Fall has his 11th rebound.
But I know we keep talking about it, but Hunt got an offensive rebound, and he did not even look to score because he knew Taco Fall was right behind him. That's the kind of impact that he has on the defensive end.
Smith driving, got his rebound. Putback is up and good. Colin Smith is a sophomore out of Jacksonville. And he didn't get a lot of publicity because everybody is looking at 7'6" Taco Fall, but he's a really good low post player.
7 of his last 14 games have been in double figures. As Hunt misses the 3 and Fall gets another rebound. But, you know, if you look at UCF and they're going to finish the season out strong and have a chance to get in the NCAA tournament, Colin Smith and Terrell Allen are going to have to continue to play very well, because the top 3, you know what you're going to get on a night-in, night-out basis.
Held ball, and the arrow goes to SMU. Right now, it's all UCF here in Orlando.
Taco Fall continues to impress, this time on the defensive end with the block. And then the dunk, the high-low, why not? I'll finish it.
That #1 mantle.
They had a dominant 2 games this week. First against Pepperdine, who has improved immensely under Lorenzo Romar. But, you know, the game last night against BYU's gone into Spokane, won 3 of the last 4 in Spokane. They absolutely throttled them in the second half.
SMU gets a good look at a 3 to start. Witt turns away from the lane. Chagua driving. Nice kick there. And Witt misses a 3. Long rebound. Taylor kicks it. Guess who's got it? Taco Fall. His career high in rebounds are 17. And he's got a dozen already. Taylor spots up for 3. UCF is a pretty good shooting team. 47% from the field, 35 from distance. Mike. And Isaiah Mike misses. And for SMU, it's been a cold start here. 4 of 23, 2 of 11 from distance. Colin Smith. Here comes the double. Taylor. Allen in the rotation. Penetrates. Lob. Taco. One hand. Catch. Finish. Foul.
He has done everything today. That time, help side, clamps down on him. Allen attacks the closeout. The one-handed catch while holding him off with the weak hand. The one-handed catch and finish. Chance to the 3-point play. About the only thing he hasn't done well today is shoot free throws. which is well documented, his struggles at the free throw line.
Well, he's 1 of 2 from the line. And that one didn't quite get there. Points, 13 rebounds for Taco Fall. Another miss on a 3. Rebound number 14 for Fall. Dawkins, clean look. Ooh, McMurray goes down hard after getting the rebound. Tim Jankovic.
If there's one thing that SMU can't afford is McMurray going out with an injury. They're limited depth-wise, but if they were to lose their leading scorer and leader, that would be a big blow.
All right, Dan Dickow, you've watched, what, 14 minutes of game here. If you're SMU, what adjustments can you make, and how do you get your offense going if you're Tim Jankovic?
Well, I think you'd like to play faster if you can and try to get Taco Fall in an up-and-down game where his size and his length aren't going to become such a factor. That being said, you really can't when you're as limited with depth as SMU is.
Isaiah Mike rises up. They just can't shoot. Even with Fall out of the game, they're not shooting well. Brown and a push. I think Shagwa, and it is Ethan Shagwa with the foul. And Chad Brown, the senior, gets to the line. Johnny Dawkins. The other thing about coaching Taco Fall that's unique for Dawkins, he had a awful tall teammate in the NBA, Manute Bull.
Wow. I was going to say earlier, I've played against some tall players in my time in the NBA, but no one as big as Taco Fall. Played against Yao Ming, played with Sean Bradley, played against Arvydas Sabonis. And those guys have big impacts. But Taco Fall is clearly taller than all of those guys.
Shagwa calling for the ball inside. Mike can't find him, so he pops out. SMU in desperate need of offense. McMurray can get them that. And he misses. Shagwa battling, and he went over the back to get it. Speaking of the NBA, McAdoo, courtside.
One of the great scorers in NBA history.
And one thing that Dawkins said, and of course Johnny Dawkins played 9-10 years in the league, he said that the next level, whether it's the NBA, whether it's the G League, or whether it's Europe, those rules will favor Taco Fall. It will be a better type of game than the college game, where they won't have as many bodies leaning on him.
Yeah, I could see that being a benefit. You know, my only concern at the NBA level, and I hope he gets a legitimate fair shot and he can make the most of it. But the way the game has trended over the last 7-8 years is it's almost positionless now. There's very few dominant big men who post up. But the way he impacts the game on the defensive end, teams are going to give him a long look, that's for sure.
Isaiah Mike driving, and a nice soft hook. Still a huge lead for UCF. SMU had gone 0 for their last 12 before that bucket. Allen kicks back. White was anticipating, has the steal. And a foul. Deion Griffin.
That right there, though, to me is what makes UCF a great defensive team. Deion Griffin does not quit on the play in transition. The crowd here thought it was a clean block. I agree with the official, but you're not a good defensive team unless you give it maximum effort. That time, he could have given up the easy layup considering they're up 24 at the time. He sprints back, challenges the shot, puts him at the free throw line.
We opened the telecast talking about UCF and their NCAA tournament opportunity. The schedule they have is daunting after this. At South Florida, at Houston, Cincinnati, at Temple. But it also presents great opportunities to push themselves off the bubble and into the dance. And that's the way Johnny Dawkins said that they have to look at it. Not like, hey, look, our schedule's tough. It could hurt us, but our schedule's tough. It could really help us.
Absolutely. Colin Smith gets fouled on the dunk attempt, but, you know, if you're not clear-cut in the NCAA tournament, you would, at least my opinion, you would have rather earn your way into it rather than slide your way into the tournament, because if they get through their last 4 games after today with a couple potential big wins, whether it would be Houston, Cincinnati, or at Temple, that means you're playing good basketball and you're going into the conference tournament and then the NCAA tournament on a good note, as opposed to a lot of times you see some of these power conference, you finish 7th, 8th, and you slide in the NCAA tournament, you lose in the first round. I would prefer to see teams like a UCF earn their way in.
Line drive 3 from the corner is off. Hey, the American may be saying we're a power conference. They have 4 potential teams that could get into the NCAA tournament. Smith fighting hard, lost the handle on it, and Jamar Young and SMU away with it. This is McMurray.
Oh, you're right. When you talk about the AAC has had a good year. Houston, ranked in the top 10. They may be battling for possibly a 2 seed if they keep it going. Cincinnati with Mick Cronin is always one of the better defensive teams in the country. But then Temple is in the top 50 as well.
Good ball movement, and still nothing. And a rebounding foul inside. 37-13. Huge lead right now.
That's for sure. Penny Hardaway doing a nice job there in his first year. Got the #1 recruit in high school coming to Memphis next year.
What a win yesterday. Jeremiah Martin dropped 37 at Wichita State. A big comeback win for Memphis. McMurray into the lane. Fall was lurking, kicks it back out. Isaiah Mike. Baseline jumper, and he hits it.
Tough shot on the baseline. He's been playing well. Last 10 games, all in double figures, almost 17 per in those last 10.
SMU is shooting 20% from the field. Ball kicked out. And here come the Mustangs as they try to take a small bite, if they can, out of this lead. McMurray goes with the left hand. Fall collects the rebound. 15 rebounds to go with 12 points.
He's about to get a career high in the first half on the glass. You mentioned it earlier, 17 is his career high.
Terrell Allen.
He's been a problem in that high pick and roll. Early on, he was finding guys. Now, guys are staying home, and he's a willing and capable finisher.
If you open up a scouting report on UCF, it'll tell you they're a great defensive team. And that's not me, that's Mick Cronin, who knows a thing or two about defense. Talks about UCF. And then offensively, very efficient. Low turnovers, high shooting percentage. McMurray over Taco, but missed the shot. There's block shots and there's altered shots, and there's a ton of altered shots here today. McMurray, great catch on the save, and he's fouled. It looked like Allen, and if it's Allen, it'll be his 3rd personal.
I didn't see much of a foul there, and Johnny Dawkins is saying the same thing to the official. If Murray caught it after the ball was saved from going out of bounds and kind of tried to catch and spin move all in one.
Well,
that's all you need to see right there.
That sums it up. Isaiah Mike. This is White. Remember, Jeray Foster not here. Isaiah Mike with a 3. Foster, of course, the last 2 years has had knee injuries. And when you are thin on scholarships, as Tim Jankovic has been, the final year of sanctions, you suffer some injuries, some NBA departures. Your roster is razor thin. Taco Fall again. Catch, spin, finish. He's gone for 14 and 15.
But you got to give Coach Jankovic a lot of credit because, I mean, yeah, they've been limited with scholarships due to sanctions, but he's had some guys that they've helped develop and leave much earlier to the NBA than anybody would have expected, himself included.
That's a good point. 4 players in the NBA in the last 2 years. Brown with the rebound. He's fouled by Jamar Young. 3 fouls on Jamar Young. And Chad Brown goes to the line. UCF has not been to the NCAA tournament since 2005, and they've never won an NCAA tournament game. They're 0-4 in their 4 appearances. Last year, they finished 19-13, but they had their 3 top players were hurt. B.J. Taylor missed the first part of the season. Taco Fall missed the second half. And Aubrey Dawkins missed the entire season for Johnny Dawkins. But better health and a real good shot at the tournament this year. .23 lead. Final minute, first half. McMurray falling away. Missed it. Fall rips the rebound down. 16, one off a career high. Shot clock down. B.J. Taylor. Taylor a 3, and he missed it. 5 seconds left in this half.
Taylor, leading scorer on the season, surprisingly quiet. 0 points in that first half, but it's easy to see why. Taco Fall has been the story these first 20 minutes.
Let's see what McMurray gets. Final seconds. Crossover kick. Hunt. Nope. Fall was there. Hunt couldn't get the shot off. And an appropriate ending for a marvelous first half for that man. 7'6", Taco Fall.
Scorer Jamal McMurray is 2 for 10, but if SMU is going to try to climb back in this game, they've got to get some good possessions early in this half, gain some confidence, and put a little doubt in UCF's mind.
Look, B.J. Taylor and Aubrey Dawkins are elite players on this UCF team. Impressive how they didn't try to impose themselves on that first half. They just let Taco Fall go to work. Ooh. On a catch, he was undercut. And he's back up on his feet.
You could hear the collective sigh. Shagwa doing everything he can to go from fighting up front to being behind on the catch. Not much he could do, but foul.
Shagwa now has 4 personal fouls. And just to show you how thin things are for Tim Jankovic on the bench, he's still in the game. B.J. Taylor off a screen. Allen had a terrific first half. Terrell Allen had 9. Dawkins and Taylor didn't shoot much. They didn't need to. This is Dawkins. Dumps it in. Smith to the glass. Fall has the loose ball. And his putback is good. And he beats the shot clock.
Well, we spotlight him at halftime for doing a number of positive things. Starts the second half no differently.
17 rebounds now for him. That ties his career high. 17 points as well. There are not many people that are 17 and 17 a minute into the second half at any level.
Well, there's only a handful of guys that I can think of quickly. As Terrell Allen pushes it in transition, no one stops me. Might as well take it all the way to the rack. But there's only a handful of guys across the country that, you know, have the ability to impact the game on the defensive end of the glass like Fall.
Shagwa over Fall, missed the shot. He's lucky he didn't get a foul. It would have been his 5th. Launches a 3 and hits it from the corner. Ethan Shagwa, the sophomore, the Tulsa native, the transfer from Duquesne. He's a nice player. And look, SMU is more talented than this score would indicate. They just had a 5-game losing streak, and every one of those came down to the last possession. A 2-point loss at Wichita State, 5-point loss at Cincinnati, 1 to South Florida, 6-point loss to this UCF team, an 8-point loss at Temple. Allen, 15-footer, brings out, and Isaiah Mike was climbing all over Taco Fall. Teddy Valentine, I'm sure, is saying, look, I know he's tall, but you can't do that.
That's just a difficult call for Isaiah Mike. It's the right call. It is a foul. You're taught as a defender, if you're put in a bad position against a bad matchup such as Fall, face guard, do everything you can not to allow that player to get the offensive rebound.
Mike has got 3 fouls. Shagwa's got 4. B.J. Taylor, Boone High School here in Orlando. Stayed home, 5th year in the program. Allen kicks, Smith rotates, Dawkins launches, missed it. Taco Fall. Taco Fall, ladies and gentlemen.
I guess we can add balance to how we've described Taco Fall this afternoon. That time, catches it, stays on balance, left-hand finish.
That's a play he could not make when he arrived here in Orlando.
True.
McMurray. And that's part of the fun thing about his story here, is how far he's come as a player. Mike, the miss, and the impact he's had as a person. Dawkins. Great entry, good seal by Smith. And he's clobbered. He'll get to the line.
Well, I know Fall's big, but he's done a nice job of positioning himself in the right place to be able to take advantage of his size. Colin Smith, the line for 2. He's quietly put together a nice game. 8 points, 5 rebounds, but I think if UCF is going to finish this season strong and get out into the NCAA tournament, he's going to have to play a big piece for them.
This is a, in 3 years, Johnny Dawkins has assembled a pretty complete team. Good backcourts, very good front line, great defensively, efficient offensively. Can they win a couple of big games in these next 2 weeks that get themselves, instead of the last 4 in, definitely in?
And you mentioned the schedule at Houston, here at home against Cincinnati, then at Temple. It's going to be a difficult road, but if they play like this, I like their chances.
Allen driving, and McMurray. Into Taco. Bodies on him. On the floor. Lost it. B.J. Taylor has it. Shot clock is down, and that's going to go all the way into backcourt. And it's over and back. It was not tipped. Johnny Dawkins calling Taco Fall over. He played with goggles last year and earlier this year, and they were for prescription and protection. And he's got new contact lenses, tried some goggles earlier this year, likes the contacts, and has gone goggleless since. Nice bucket there by Jimmy Witts, the junior out of Columbia, Missouri. This was an enormous lead to begin the game, and UCF hasn't let up since. Allen drives, Taylor for 3. BJ Taylor.
Perfect offense on the perimeter for UCF. Allen penetrates. BJ Taylor relocates in his vision. Catch and shoot.
Murray fouled. And right now, UCF just continuing what they started in the first half.
If you're off the ball, get in the vision of the ball handler. BJ Taylor does just that. After that, it becomes automatic. Hands and feet ready, let it go. Unquote signature win yet. Well, that could change when they play Houston in the next week or so. That or a victory against Cincinnati, I think, would go a long way to bolster their at-large resume.
They get Cincinnati here. They travel to Houston. They travel to Temple. And they've got South Florida on the road as well. So 3 on the road and just 1 at home after this one before the American tournament. BJ Taylor driving. If this is the first time you've watched UCF and you're saying, man, the Taco Fall guy is great, they're much more than that. In fact, BJ Taylor's averaging 17 a game. Aubrey Dawkins 15 a game. Allen's a terrific point guard. There's the remaining schedule. And look at the records. And, of course, in the NET rating, Houston is 4. Cincinnati is 25. Temple is 50 in the country. And that's BJ Taylor. There are nights where Taco Fall is not a dominant force. And UCF wins behind BJ Taylor and Aubrey Dawkins and Colin Smith and Allen.
Before that made 3 for Taylor, Dawkins and Taylor had only combined for 9 total points. It has been the Taco Fall show, but they've got a nice backcourt.
McMurray with the miss. Terrell Allen picks up his 4th personal foul, and Allen will sit down. You see Deion Griffin coming in. Strong drive by Isaiah Mike. That's going to be Deion Griffin's foul, his 2nd.
Mike has had some flashes of nice plays this afternoon. He's a player that won't back down. Only a sophomore, transferred from Nevada. He's got a nice mix of ability to shoot it from the outside, to keep the defense honest at around 40%, but he can also put the ball on the deck and create some problems, as he did on that play.
Fall sits down. Shagwa with his 4 fouls is back in for SMU. SMU is a better team than this. Tim Jankovic and the Mustangs, it doesn't get any easier. They're home on Wednesday against Cincinnati.
SMU now in a 2-3 zone. Conserve a little bit of energy, but got to make sure you rebound out of that zone.
Off on the 3 is Griffin. Isaiah Mike, Jamal McMurray, Jimmy Witt, Dixon in that backcourt. Shagwa again plows through a guy. I think they know he's got 4 fouls.
Colin Smith tried to draw that one. Officials weren't having any of that to give him the charge.
Yes, and the flush by Brown.
defense there by Brown on the switch. Keep the smaller, quicker McMurray in front and contest and force the air ball.
Dawkins misses the transition three. McMurray back up the floor, hits the deck, lost the ball, and it's a turnover.
Be active on the offensive glass and good things happen. Chad Brown is not blocked out in the zone. He goes directly to the front of the rim and puts it through.
Taylor again, a long three. Shagwa tips it out of bounds. It's going to stay though. All right, goes to SMU. Brown 6'9", 245. Look, they start Colin Smith at 6'11", 240. Taco Fall 7'6", 300. And Chad Brown comes off the bench 6'9", 245.
Good size front court for being in the American. I like their versatility, their length.
For being anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, outside of Taco Fall with Smith and Brown's athleticism, you can switch a lot of things with those two guys.
Dawkins got popped in the face, and he's going to earn a couple free throws.
Euro step in transition when Dixon tried to cut him off. A little poke in the nose, he'll be all right.
2 years out. Of course, he started at Michigan, was the sixth man from Michigan. Transferred here when his father got the job at UCF. And then had a right shoulder injury and missed all of last year. And, you know, the first few games there were a little bit of rust, but not as much as you would think. Averaging 15 a game. And probably the type of player, too, Dan, that if UCF played more up-tempo, it wouldn't be 15 a game. It would be 17, 18.
Very athletic, skilled. His best basketball is still ahead of him as he's only a junior. But, you know, he had 26 in the first meeting against SMU, 9 of 12 from the field, and 4 threes included. SMU has definitely made it a focal point to take away his good looks.
William Douglas in for SMU. That's Douglas with the ball. Along with Nat Dixon. He drives. Can't finish. Tipped away. Colin Smith starts the break. Dawkins stops. And a foul coming up the floor. Away from the ball. And that's going to be on Douglas. Johnny Dawkins and the Knights. An impressive day here in Orlando. For a year. It's been since 2011, and Hofstra right now in a position to get there for the first time since '98.
The Huskies, they should be in the top 25 in my opinion. Coach Mike Hopkins, longtime assistant to Coach Boeheim at Syracuse, has done a fantastic job out there implementing many of those zone schemes that have been so difficult to attack in the Big East.
Technical foul was called during the break on Isaiah Mike. And so Isaiah Mike with a technical foul, and those are the free throws shot by Taylor. What's the layman's term for that, Dan Dickow? Chirping?
The official said he had some extracurricular words to say, so that is where the technical foul comes.
Taco Fall back in. Kick to Taylor. Hits the three.
Well, defensively, you're guarding a shooter in B.J. Taylor. Ball goes into the post. You can't lose sight. He lost sight. Taylor relocated again to the correct spot, knocks it down.
Brown with the rebound. Taylor advances. Works with a corner three. Hits that.
Almost identical spots. But that one in transition, Burt's, the junior from California.
Douglas, another three. Missed his first, missed his second. Shagwa with the rebound. Ends a 12-0 run by UCF. Crowd appreciative of what they're seeing here. One of the best games of the year for the Knights, for sure. Not just a double-double for Taco Fall, but he's approaching a 20-20 game.
They now have the 6'5" William Douglas guarding Taco Fall because Shagwa has 4 fouls.
Burt's the miss. Shagwa has the rebound. And that's another block for Fall. Got a piece of it. That's his 3rd block. Taylor weaving his way in. Brown right back inside.
This is what you love to see from a team that is playing well, is the ball is continuing to move. It's not sticking. Guys are making the correct play. UCF continues to impress.
Shagwa kicked out of bounds. Stays with SMU. 15 on the shot clock.
Attacking in transition, collapse the defense, and then Griffin, the extra pass to Brown underneath.
Jimmy Witt's back in. Douglas
wanted no part of Taco Fall.
And Witt misses the 3. There's still 10 minutes left in this game, 9.5 minutes. Taylor's shot is good. BJ's heating up.
3rd 3 in this half after a quiet, scoreless first.
Biggest lead in the ball game. Maybe their biggest lead of the season.
I would imagine so.
Taylor driving, got through, Taco. 21-19 for Fall. And Burt's with the reach and the foul.
When you set a screen and you're as big as Taco Fall, you must make yourself available in the paint. He did it that time, but SMU has got to provide a little bit more resistance with their rotations on the weak side, not just allow Fall the easy catch and finish.
If he had his way, as a kid, he'd be playing soccer. In fact, that's what he did play until he was 16. So he has not been playing basketball all that long, just about 6.5 years of basketball. And the improvement that he's made here in his 4 years here has just been gigantic. White over Fall, hits the jumper. It's a 3, Isaiah Mike. PJ. Taylor misses the 3. McMurray has had a frustrating day. He's 2 of 14. Mike bangs home another. Excuse me, that's CJ White with the 3. And it's a 73-32 game. Taco Fall, ladies and gentlemen. Little finger roll there. Clifford Ray, a former NBA legend, is here along with Bob McIndoe. I'm sure he can appreciate that.
Great coach in the NBA for a number of years, mentored many really good big men.
That's a nice move there. Shagwa, he's only a sophomore. Isaiah Mike's a sophomore, Shagwa's a sophomore, Hunt a freshman, Witt's a junior. So a lot of returning talent. Hopefully they get Jere Foster healthy.
Well, we've seen the dunk from Taco Fall. Now we're going to see the finger roll. Up over the top softly, Taco Fall. ball's been penetrated or doubled in the post, as well as starting to get aggressive coming off pick and rolls. He's a player that played a lot at the point over the last couple years, but now with the emergence of Terrell Allen, he's able to get back to being a two-guard.
You talk about earning a three-point shot. Burt's with the offensive rebound, corralled it in the corner and cans the three. Look at this guy, Frank Burt's a junior, East Los Angeles Junior College, part of the nice bench that Johnny Dawkins has. Dawkins. Aubrey Dawkins. He is 3 of 6 from beyond the arc.
I'll tell you what, if they shoot the ball the way they've shot it tonight, I like their chances. A couple of these big games coming up against Houston, Cincinnati, and Temple.
Taco Fall had the rebound, lost it, couldn't save it. Taylor and Dawkins sit down. Dayon Griffin and Terrell Allen come in. Burt's again. Another three.
Find that corner. 3 made threes now, all of them from the exact same spot.
This is a 50-point lead. A 50-point lead for you.
Offensively, screen, dive, such a big target, and then he's a finisher. His ability to impact on the defensive end, and not only block shots, but alter them, has been an important piece as well.
Johnny Dawkins has reserves in and flying down the lane. Ferron Hunt with a two-hand flush. So,
but that can happen because no Taco Fall in the middle.
That's right.
It's literally the first drive and clear-cut layup SMU has had all day long.
For their 10th point in the paint. Griffin, he hits a three. In this day and age of transfers, coaches don't really have a core of walk-on players or guys that can come in a time like this. It's essentially the first line of reserves that are in right now for UCF. Because if you've got transfers coming in, and UCF has a couple in, those guys are on scholarship, so you lose a couple scholarships as guys transfer in and sit out over the season. That shortens your bench considerably. The catch by Burt's.
That was the wrong corner for Burt's. That's why it didn't go in.
Oh, he is energy. Look at this. Griffin, three. I don't know if Burt's can run this one down. He ends up face first on the table.
All right, he stayed in the corner. He knocked down 3 threes in a row. He would have been fine, but Jerron Hunt attacking a poor closeout by Chad Brown and elevating up over the top.
Offensive foul on SMU. Rich Waltz along with Dan Dickow in the American, where UCF is trying to add to their resume. Get to 20 wins. Johnny Dawkins in his 3rd season. If they can pick up another couple quality wins, they will solidify themselves into the NCAA tournament. And they have the opportunities of Houston on the road, Cincinnati at home, Temple on the road, all coming up on their schedule. Road game at South Florida would help as well. Griffin short on the 3. Whites has hit a couple threes here in the second half. Let's push. And, of course, you're going to, not only for those 4 games for UCF, but in the American tournament, you would expect Johnny Dawkins going to run into one of those teams as well.
Yeah, so they are going to have opportunities to bolster their resume. You touched a second ago on, maybe having some walk-ons or somebody being able to play a few minutes, but you've heard the discussion by amongst a lot of coaches down the stretch part of the season is, are teams running up the score or are they not? And one of the reasons why some people think that is happening at times this year is because the new net rankings takes in a little bit of a count for your offensive and defensive efficiency. So whether you're up 50 right now, you don't want to see that drop and become a 30-point win, because they're placing more emphasis on some of the analytics with the new numbers now.
Oh, that's nice. Allen, the lob, Brown, the finish. And so it's, look, it's margin, it ends up being margin of victory is what it is. But as you point out, it's also, it measures your offensive efficiency and your defensive efficiency. Less points, better defense, more points, better offense. And that's in the formula. And it almost feels like it may take a season or two for everybody to figure out exactly how it works. Right now, it's all working for UCF.
He struggled today, 7 points on 17 shots. UCF has looked like a tremendous team this afternoon.
I'm not sure the last time I've seen a 51-point game at this level. And McMurray, and remember, the losses that SMU has had of late in the American were all nail biters. 2 points on the road to Wichita, 5 points on the road to Cincinnati. You, on the other hand, you call a lot of Gonzaga Bulldog games, so yes, you've seen a few of these.
Gonzaga is beating West Coast Conference opponents by nearly 30 a game, and as you mentioned, do quite a few of those games regionally. And so we have a lot of fill time on our regional broadcasts. But I was not expecting this score to be what it is here this afternoon.
Chagwa kicks, Witt thinks about a three, fires one up, missed it. And Colin Smith with the rebound. Smith is approaching a double-double. He's got 9 points and now 10 rebounds. And a 30-second timeout by Johnny Dawkins. The step aside, 89-39. UCF. And now the walk-ons arrive. Ryan Anders out of Tampa is in. And so Anders into the ball game. Xavier Grant is in as well. Levi Renan is in. And so a few of the walk-ons, scout team players getting some run here for UCF. Douglas turns the corner. Brown has his 8th rebound of the game. Both Chad Brown and Colin Smith have been outstanding. That's Brown missing a turnaround, and there's a putback. Off the miss by Anders. Brown with the rebound. Dan Dickout preparing for his post-game interview with Taco Falls. That'll appear, I would expect, on our studio show. You'll enjoy talking with him. I've had a chance to visit with him. He really is a unique guy. We told you he speaks 4 languages. He's learning Spanish. He's an outstanding student, beloved by his teammates and the student body here at UCF. So Dan, I'm not sure which language you want to use, but
I know one. That's English. And if you ask my wife and kids, sometimes I struggle with that. Sometimes early mornings getting them up and ready for school.
As we said, SMU has got Cincinnati coming to Dallas on Wednesday. You and I will be there for that game, and it will be interesting to see if they can bounce back from this. That is one of the great home courts in the American. Remember, Tim Jankovic, when he took over, had that long home court win streak when things started. And they were in a year where nothing went wrong. They didn't have a lot of guys. Remember 2 years ago, They won 30 games, went to the NCAA tournament, but all the injuries they've had the last 2 years, plus the scholarship limits. Anders misses a jumper. Crowd hoping that he'll get on the board. Douglas, and it's a block. A foul on Levi Renaud. So I think by now we can project UCF as the winner here. And that's going to move their record to 10-4 in the American, 20-6 overall. Cincinnati and UConn just getting ready to tip off up in the Stores. So Cincinnati has a road game. Remember yesterday, Houston, a winner against USF. Memphis had that great comeback and win at Wichita State. And Temple was a winner over Tulsa at home. Nice flush by Hunt.
Hunt's been active this last 7 or 8 minutes. Freshman from New Orleans. I would think he's earning himself some more minutes down the stretch part of the season for SMU.
Anders a little strong on that. Final minute and a major blowout. And a bump and a foul. And as we noted, the American Athletic Conference right now, and Jerry Palm's projection has 4 teams in. Memphis is climbing. I mean, as long as Jeremiah Martin's putting in 37 tonight, that Memphis team is dangerous going towards the American tournament. Here's your standings. Cincinnati should pop into the top 25 after this week. UCF now at 10-4. Cincinnati will be at SMU Wednesday. We have that game. Dan and I will be there. And of course, UCF will get Cincinnati on this floor, and they darn near beat them.
Yeah, they were up late at Cincinnati about a week or so ago.
Yeah, lost 60-55. They've been able to get the walk-on Anders some pretty good looks.
There's got to be one more shot. Let's see if they can't find him an opportunity right there in the middle of the zone.
Oh, he passes it nicely down. And Renaud cutting through. The walk-ons get some run. SMU gets a 3, and UCF takes another step towards their march, towards March. Johnny Dawkins and the Knights are 20-6 and 10-4 in the American, and their biggest margin of victory since 2000.